Believe it or not, credit card debt at record highs right now, and recent interest rate hikes mean we're going to pay even more to carry that debt. Today is National Credit Card Reduction Day, so we want to talk about this problem, share some common mistakes. Financial professional Derek Gregoire from SHP Financial joins us. Derek, thanks for coming in today, because I think it's a really important issue, especially for a lot of young people. I want to start with some basics. What are some of the most common mistakes people make when it comes to their credit cards?
Well, something simple. Number one is cash advances. It's an easy thing to take cash from a credit card, but as soon as that cash comes to you and you cash that check or take that cash out of the ATM machine, the meter's running. And what I mean by that is interest is being charged, and that interest rate's even higher than what is on normal purchases.
Right.
So that's first and foremost.
And also, they charge you a pretty exorbitant upfront fee sometimes just to get the cash advance, correct?
Correct. Just besides that point. Second is just running a high balance. You know, it sounds basic, but you want to keep your balance about 30% or lower of the available balance, because the higher it is, the worse it is for your credit. And even a statistic about baby boomers, right, that are getting ready for retirement, we work with a lot of them, and even the average baby boomer between 55 and 64 has $8,000 of credit card debt.
Of revolving credit card debt.
Credit card debt, yes.
That's incredible. So that leads me to the question, because we ran into the financial crisis. I mean, housing had so much to do with it, but people were over leveraged, right? There was just too much debt, both corporate and personal. So right now in 2019, how big a problem is it, even relative to a decade ago?
Well, I'm thinking, just think about 2018 alone. I have a statistic that Americans spent $110 billion, with a B, billion, in credit card interest and fees alone. Just alone. And then you have to look at interest rates. That's what we're talking about as well.
Yeah.
Interest rates are rising. So the average credit card right now carries a rate of about 17%, which is 1% higher than last year already. And then we have the Fed signaling that they're going to continue to raise interest rates. So what does that mean for the credit cards? That means the debt's going to continue to be more expensive.
Now, that's like quadruple the going rate. So first of all, how do credit cards, how are they able to charge you so much in interest? And a lot of people are very, they don't trust credit card companies. Are they still able to game the system, or is regulation kicked in where they have to be more honest?
It depends on what you call being more honest, because it still is charging ridiculous rates. But if you think of
17%.
17%, but they have to tell you about it now. So they have this thing called the CARD Act. It's an acronym that says, all right, we have to let consumers know if we're going to raise interest rates or change fees, we have to send you a written notice. So is it helpul? Well, they said in the last few years, it's saved Americans about $12 billion per year, but that doesn't solve the problem of us still paying, last year alone, $110 billion
right.
of credit card interest.
You know, it's interesting, because in my late 20s, I was in a huge amount of credit card debt, and I did two things. I basically took every single 0% offer and just kept rotating the debt around, and then I stopped eating takeout, and eventually I got out of trouble. But if somebody's sitting at home being like, I'm in credit card debt, I'm sick of paying all this extra money, how do you start? Because it's overwhelming to see those thousands of dollars and be like, I'm never going to pay it off.
Well, the easiest, it's easier said than done, right? But the first thing I always look at is let's not ignore the problem, because some people just ignore it because they think it's too big of a problem to attack.
They just keep making that minimum payment.
Yep, out of sight, out of mind.
Yep.
So come up with just a basic game plan. What's the first thing you can cut out, whether it's takeout or whether it's buying some bag or something that you don't necessarily need? You can tell I'm married and my wife likes bags. Sorry to throw that in there, but if what can you cut out, and then any extra money you can put aside and just keep chipping away on those zero interest loans, if you can move around like that. That's just going to help in the long run big time. You think about how much you're paying in interest.
Right.
Anytime you can eliminate some of that, that's a huge impact.
Last question, because we got to run. When you have this large credit card debt, does that have a negative impact on your credit score?
For sure, yeah. That's why if you have too many cards and you're maxing out your limits, if your limit 10,000 and every card's at 9,990, that's going to have a big impact on your credit score.
Which will have a major problem if you're going to do something like buy a house. Derek, it's great. Listen, people out there, it's important. You're just giving money to these credit card companies. So, Derek Gregoire, we really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
How you doing? It's Derek Gregoire, co-founder of SHP Financial. The next step from here would be to schedule a complimentary consultation at one of our offices. I'm standing now in our Plymouth office on the Plymouth waterfront, but we also have offices in Woburn, Hyannis, Braintree, Westboro, and Dartmouth, Massachusetts. See, a lot of folks that come in for the first time just have a bunch of portfolios and statements, but very few have a plan. So take advantage and get started on your plan or your retirement roadmap, and we look forward to catching up with you soon. Thank you.